1, 2, 3, 4.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and today we are going to be getting into a comic book review. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, number 5. 5. Johnny 5 is alive. But before we get into all that, I want to thank you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. I hope that today is the day that I earn that subscription. I hope that everyone has been doing well. In a quick note, in my personal life, I had started a secondary job. So I'm going to try to find a good flow between that and doing videos, because I'm going to, have a little less free time in the coming months and stuff, hopefully with how this job works out. But I will never stop Tully Television for you guys. If, gives me something positive to do too, right? Without further ado, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, number 5. Now, if you remember, book 1 has always been entitled Love in the Wasteland, and this is chapter 5, The Apocalyptics, written by Jason Aaron, who has been writing this whole series so far. Illustrated by Alexandre Tefengi, Tefenkgi, colored by Lee LaRouche, and pages 27 through 30 was illustrated by Nick Dragatti and colored by Rico Renzi. Because the whole gimmick, and I like the back here too, kind of gives you a bunch of stuff that's used and, the name of the people that work on this title. Now, the whole gimmick of this book is that it's going to be a 15-issue story. The first 5 issues, the one we're wrapping up now, is the end of the first story where they've met each other in the apocalypse, Esmeralda and Maceo here. In the first 5 issues, though, near the end of each issue, we see Maceo being interrogated by a bunch of mutated creature-looking beings that seem to have been affected by the outside world of the apocalypse, asking about a machine, and he's... So those pages near the end of the issue, being it's so far flung into the future, because he's an old man at this point, it has a different look to it, a different vibe to it, because even though we're following Esmeralda and Maceo currently, right, in the past, so to speak, depending on where in the timeline you're talking, he's not going to be the same person as he is here, getting ready to do the apocalyptics. When we see him in the future, he's like a really old man, tall and lanky, you know what I mean? Think of a really more disheveled Rick Sanchez looking guy. And, but Esmeralda's not with him during this situation, and we're going to find out where she was at by the end of this issue, because we finally got a name and kind of a concept of what this weapon is that these creatures were looking for, and I had a theory of maybe who they were, but now with the ending of this issue, I'm kind of not sure who they are, and I'll explain to you why when we get there. But if we remember last issue, Maceo was captured by the Rangers of the Wasteland, and Ma. Esmeralda was a former member, but soon realized after the death of her best friend by Ma, after Ma had found out that they shared a kiss, Esmeralda's first kiss, Ma thought that was going to be a distraction for Esmeralda. She wanted Esmeralda to be eventually the leader of the Wasteland Rangers, and they held this book called the Guidebook, the Handbook of the Rangers. It was kind of like their Bible on how to survive out in the apocalypse, so to speak. And when Esmeralda left after the death of her friend and finding an old man ranger saying there's an oasis out there, she decides to pack up and leave. And that's where she meets Maceo, and the Rangers catch up to them. And that's kind of where we're at now. Maceo wanted to prove himself out in the wild, so to speak. So he went to go hunt for some food and stuff, and he got captured by the Rangers. And now, being he read the book, he wants to challenge them basically to the Apocalyptics. And there's a bunch of different events that they have to do. Also, Esmeralda is up in the air of wanting to, she wants to save him, but, she initially was just going to leave. Here's a bunch of a bug eating, what's that first one? Sludge jumping, rat killing, cactus tackling, a bunch of different things, man roaring, spit distance type of contest, and then there's a triathlon, there's a golfing thing for golf, I don't know why, but basically Maceo loses every challenge, okay? I love me some coffee. So they basically chain him out to this junkyard, and Esmeralda winds up coming to try to save him. And he says he's not being saved because he wants to prove his worth to Esmeralda, and Esmeralda is realizing that the whole point of why she feels the way she does for Maceo, and she's realizing that she has caring feelings for him, and the same for Maceo towards Esmeralda, is that they're not anything like what they've encountered before. Esmeralda is so used to despair and cutting herself off from the world that because she didn't like who she was, all right, and she liked how she felt around Maceo because he looked at her in such a beautiful light. You know what I mean? The first beacon of beauty and hope in his tower with his parents dead, and here comes this angel out of the wasteland, right? And for her, here's this genius who isn't using his mind for bad things. He wants to, and so he's refusing to leave. And so she's like, well, if you're not leaving, I'm not leaving. She calls out the Rangers and wants to talk to Mom. The Rangers come, and obviously there is a confrontation with Ma. Ma explains to her that she's being dumb and needs to kind of be with the Rangers again. And of course, Esmeralda is refusing, and Ma is basically going to have Esmeralda watch as Maceo gets beaten up by everybody. But Maceo, the inventor he is, comes and basically is about to change the game. He created a rock. No one thought that he was going to create much, so when they initially seen he had a gun, they didn't know what to make of it, and when they shot the rockets, everyone thought he missed purposely, but he meant to hit this mountainside here. I mean, go figure. The guy that can build a rocket launcher, he's gonna not know what he's doing, I guess, right? And basically, he Mount Rushmore'd Esmeralda's face to the side of the mountain, smiling, and the Rangers, finding it to be such a beautiful sight, start to realize that what are they doing, living a life of craziness, and they reevaluate being with Ma. But this one Ranger, Todd, isn't having it. He still wants to be a Ranger, but gets beaten up by Esmeralda, and realizing that there's going to be issues with him, she basically told them that she burnt the book, so no matter how much they look, they're never going to find the book. She tells them to give it up. The Rangers are done. Ma is out and about, and yeah, the Rangers are done. They're defeated. There's really nothing left for Ma to do except to wither away and die in the desert, and hopefully the Rangers can find their own way. And as they're walking away, Esmeralda and Maceo, they realize that no matter what may come their way, if they work together and really express their true feelings, they can accomplish anything. And then they share their first kiss. Oh, how sweet. Young love is so sweet. But then this is when we pick up with the last few pages of Maceo here, right? Going crazy on these monstrosities. And he takes the few of them out. Once he realizes he's not going to get the information he was looking for on who told these creatures about the machine. The machine is a city built out of love. Excuse me. And I'm assuming that Esmeralda and Maceo built the city, and hold on, I just want to make sure that I get the name of the city right, because it is pretty unique name. Golga Nuza, meaning city of many love. Golga Nuza. So when Maceo realizes that he's not going to get the answer on who told him about Golga Nuza, and these other creatures show up, there's an explosion, and who is this coming out of the shadows? And Maceo realizes that's Esmeralda, and Esmeralda's realizing that's Maceo, and they found each other once again. So as you can see from the first few pages and first few issues, where we pick up these guys meeting as teenagers, there's clearly decades of time that has passed between the story in this issue to now her saving him again. And I feel like the last book is going to be them as old people going back to Golga Nuza and finding out who is trying to take that city down and help the people of that city, probably for their last adventure together. And I'm assuming that issues 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are going to deal with them as adults, but like maybe in their 20s, maybe almost 30s. Because this story looks like it ends with them definitely mid to late 50s, right? And I'm not saying that you can't be useful or strong during those time periods, but with how they're probably wrapping up, they're picking a major adventure from each time period of their life, and we may see the last adventure be their actual last adventure that they write. The creators here, the last 5 issues just may be them wrapping up their own chapters of their life, so to speak. I'm pretty excited on how this is going to go. I like this series very much. I think that is definitely worth a check out. Boom Studios seems to put out some decent stuff, man, and this is one of them, one of the titles here. I highly recommend it. 8 out of 10 for me so far with this title, with this series, the concept, the writing, the whole thing. I think has a very good look to it. So go check it out, guys. And until next time, peace, Snookums.